The Immortal Thor, issue number 17. That's right, folks. I can't explain it to you, but this book continues to impress me. I don't even think it's like doing anything crazy. It's not. It's really just doing classic comic book stuff. We fight some villains and we set up the next issue. That's literally it. But we bring back a couple of characters that are pretty key to the mythology of Thor as well, which is just so interesting. I don't get it. Like, I never thought I'd sit here and tell you I really like reading a Thor book, because this character's never really spoken to me before. But I'm really liking the way we're just kind of giving him the classic Marvel universe to play with in ways we haven't seen from some classic Marvel characters in a while. You compare this to where like Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man and the Avengers and the X-Men are, and I think Thor's the closest we have to like the classic era of stuff. He's literally wearing the classic suit, you know, fighting classic villains. It's exciting. So at the end of the last issue, Thor was turned to stone by the Grey Gargoyle, and they smashed him to pieces. So now he's like floating in space metaphorically, and he like reconstitutes on another level of existence in like the void dimension, where he meets a familiar face from his past. Donald Blake is there waiting for him with his eyes gouged out, because of course they are. When was the last time we saw Donald Blake? Was it in the Donny Cates stuff when he's like, I'm going to kill all the gods or something. I'm going to kill all the Thors. That's the last I saw him. I don't know if he's appeared since then or not, but he's like, Thor, I hate you. I hate everything that's happened. I told you bad stuff was going to happen if you kept going down this path, and now that you're dead, look at what the world's going to be now that you're not there. If you're not there at the right time, at the right place, you're going to tilt the balance and things are going to burn. I don't know if this is like alluding to like something we're going to set up that Thor's related to, or it's just like cosmically the world's going to burn because you're not here right now. He's like, I understand what you're saying, Donald. Just, do we have to do this right now? Like, I don't need this. I don't need this shit. I'm dealing with other stuff, Donald. This is stupid. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm not really here though, Thor. Like, we're connected because we were like the same person or something. It's confusing and complicated. I'm more like a manifestation of like the things on this planet that want to kill you. So here's a bunch of demon creatures that are going to try to consume your flesh and kill you. We then cut back to like the actual body of Thor, and it's just like a bunch of stone that's trapped somewhere. And Grey Gargoyle's like, oh shit, I just killed Thor. I'm pretty sure we're going to die now because Captain America's going to have our heads. It's over for us. We got to flee the country. We got to go. The rest of them were like, it's fine. Like, it's like, we're good. We did it. This worked. But then suddenly green magic starts to like flow over top of Thor. Everyone thinks it's the radioactive man bringing him back together. But we cut that to see Thor fighting the demons. Just like him building his way back to himself, and then something else that's happening. Boom, green light flashes and Thor is returned. And they're like, oh shit, we just made him angry. It's like, yeah, you did. So Thor's going to fight them a little bit. It's kind of exciting. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This is the classic Thor in his classic costume. The only thing new about him is his new belt with the power of Zeus and a special hammer. That's the Executioner's hammer that killed a guy. And he's fighting Mr. Hyde, Cobra, Grey Gargoyle, and Radioactive Man. Classic characters that look like their classic character counterparts. That's awesome. That is so cool. And he scares them and he beats them up a bit. And he's like, I have an axe now. This axe has killed like mortal blood. If you want to taste it, let's do it. And they're like, oh shit, we gotta go. Evac, boss. We gotta go. So they burst away. And that's when we see what really helped Thor reconstitute with somebody lurking in the shadows. It was Amora, and the Enchantress shows up, who has been kind of like, I'm thinking since like issues like 8 onwards, or even before that, like issues 5 onwards, she's been a central character in this book, which is very interesting. When you're dealing with two like elder beings of the Marvel Universe who have like sexual tension, and one's like purely good, one's purely bad, I would be so tempted to write their relationship too. Like, I think it's more interesting than Sith, and Sith's a cool character, but I'd rather do the stuff with Enchantress. So she's like, I helped you. How about you help me now? He's like, I guess. So they go on the Bifrost, and they're going to go do a thing. So we then cut to Dario, and he's like, well, you guys did good. Got all we needed. We had an event happen. Next time, we'll be prepared. All right, we're all going to get our chance to beat up Thor again. Here's the bad guys of the book. No classic Thor villains, but classic Marvel villains. That's pretty cool. We then cut to Ulyr's Hall. He was a character that appeared in The God's Time when all like the children of Odin showed up to go fight a guy. Do you remember that? It was a couple issues ago. Either way, he's like, well, here's the magic fire that can like bring stuff back to life or from like beyond whatever. It's stuff like tied to fate and like, you like weave a thread. You can pluck it from this thing. It's a magic fire and a magic power up is going to happen where we can make a thing happen that needs to happen. What is it that needs to happen? Well, Enchantress wants to bring her son back, Uruk. Uruk, who was her son, we saw in Strange Academy. He was killed in that book. Thor's like, I wasn't there when he needed me. His god wasn't there. He deserves to see his mother again. We will bring him back. But be warned, Amora, if we're going to do this, you have to speak the name Uruk. Because we know in an alternate future, you have a son with Namor named Ove, and he's like a crazy creature that's going to fight Captain Marvel or something. So if that happens, because we're not just plucking people from the past or from death, we're bringing them into like creation from alternate universes or whatever. Make sure it's Uruk and not Ove. And she's like, yeah, no shit, okay? Of course I'm going to bring back the baby I held in my arms. That's what I'm going to do here, Thor. Quit pandering to me. I'm not stupid. So she cuts like her skin and bleeds into the fire, and Thor holds her hand, and he like uses like his weird lightning power to be like, all right, I have the power of Odin and Zeus in Mjolnir. I'm going to zap the fire, and we're going to bring a character back to life. And you're like, cool. This whole book has been things not going the way you're expecting. That's been like a crux of this book. So I don't know where we're going specifically. Like, part of me is like, are we going to bring back Donald Blake this way? Or is that going to be like a thing that's happening? The Donald Blake stuff's like irrelevant. We dealt with that already. We dealt with like the, Minotaur villains in the characters. Now it's the Enchantress stuff, which is like the key thing Al Ewing also wants to talk about with this book. So Ulyr and Sith are like, this is not right. That's not Uruk. She brought someone else. It's not Ove. Ove's not come back to life. It's someone that she's never seen before. And he's like, what are you talking about? And Enchantress like, hey, look, things happened. People were in love. Ideas existed. But you were right. Like, Eric deserves peace. Like, Eric's going to find peace in Valhalla. That'll be fine. But, I did study some future timelines, so I wouldn't bring back Ove. But I did find another son in like a future that was no more. And Thor's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. There's a reason that future's no more. I killed it. It's a bad future. We shouldn't go to that future. She's like, what? You kidding me? Was it all so bad? Was that future so bad with us doing some stuff that we haven't done yet? He goes, I want to talk about it, Amora. It was not good of us to have that timeline happen. And then we see the we see the guy emerge. He's like, well, y'all speak in riddles. Is this like Asgard? What is this? He's like, is that you, father? Yeah, it's me, Magni. Hello, my son. Yeah, look at that. Some alternate future where Amora and Thor have a son. Magni, he's here in his full glory. Is this the first time that he's been like the main timeline? Like, this is a character that's existed in Marvel before. Like, I'm familiar with that. I couldn't for the life of me tell you like what era or what like universe he was like a part of. I don't remember. But I know Magni's existed. I think he's a character that's existed in like Norse mythology as well. This is cool. Like, this is a cool thing to happen. And I think it's a really fun just like subversion, Because when they start the fire and Thor's like, we can take people from timelines. You're like, oh, okay, so now we have to make sure we say it's Uruk. But it's like, nope, it's Magni. I like that. This whole book has kind of been about the Enchantress and Thor relationship. So this is like the crux of it. Their son from an alternate timeline in the present, maybe bringing them together as a family. That's pretty cool. I dig it. More classic Thor stuff. It's really fun. I'm sorry, it's really fun. I really dig this book, and this is a really good reveal. The son of Thor is here. He's got neither of their hair. They're both blonde. He's got like brunette hair. But he's definitely got his father's physique. So, the Immortal Thor, issue number 17. I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.